Hello and welcome to the show. Property prices do vary massively around the country, but there are bargains to be had no matter where you are looking.
Yes, so to bag yourself a good investment and to get a decent return, you need to do your homework.
And a perfect place to start looking, your local property auction.
Well, budgets vary massively depending on the level of project that people take on.
But whatever level your property's at, make sure you have more than enough to spend. That contingency is often dipped into and sometimes spent entirely.
So what inspired the buyers at the auctions on today's show?
In a house in Crewe, Dion's enjoying this garden's potential.
Family in here, Sunday afternoon, sun's out, cup of tea, thank you very much.
Whereas for a house in Hull, the garden seems to be coming in. It really is everywhere. That is just astonishing. And in the Midlands, it appears Dion can't find the rooms, let alone a garden.
Now I've got the ground floor and this mezzanine, and nothing else. I've got to keep searching.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
You bought it, so well done.
Today we're in Cheshire, in the northwest of England, just 28 miles south of Manchester, in the railway town of Crewe, where Dion is tracking down a potential property investment.
I'm not too far from the centre of Crewe. The shops are within walking distance, and the M6 motorway is not too far away either. Property I'm here to see is this two-bed, end-terrace house that had a guide price of £84,000 plus when it went to auction. The gate needs some oil, but the house looks pretty nice. Not bad. Nice, solid front door, always a good start. This kind of inside decor kind of matches what the outside looks like. It's nice and neat, but it's a little bit dated. You've got the fireplace here, which is a bit dated. You know, the wallpaper's a bit dated, the carpet needs to be changed. And, yes, not too bad. That guide price of £84,000 plus, some people might find that a little dear. Sorry about that, couldn't resist. Anyway, as we leave this room, we go across where the stairs are. The stairs are separating the two reception rooms. The stairs are going up to the bedrooms, obviously, and then you get into the second reception room, and there's more furniture in here. But these two rooms are a good size, and it feels quite solid in here as well, which is always a good thing. So then through into the kitchen, which, is it quite small? Is it not quite small? It is dated, I can tell you that quite easily, but you've got this kind of sort of dead space here as well. Maybe you could, if you wanted to make this a bit more kitcheny, that's a new word I've just made up, you could put some more cupboards here, a bit more surface space, maybe some cupboards on the wall. That would help with some of the stuff. Maybe there's been a table and chairs here before the fridge was here. Okay, stay there 1 minute, stay there. You have got a bit of a utility room, which is very, very handy for all your white goods out the way. Very handy. Across into here, we've got a downstairs loo. This area here is very, very handy. You could reconfigure it to suit your needs, but I do believe you'd get away with it as is. That said, if you've got the budget and you're buying this place for yourself to live in, you could look into knocking that wall down and having a huge kitchen diner right here. That's what I'd do.
Interesting. It's not that it's a terrible layout at the moment, but you can't help feel it could be better. But let's explore upstairs next before making any decisions.
Whew, give us a minute. I need some oxygen. Those stairs are incredibly steep. Right, as you get up to the top then, you've got your two bedrooms, one going that way and one going this way. They are both good-sized bedrooms, nice high ceilings. I can see a bit of damp in the corner. That's about all I can see. That's kind of alarming me, but just need decorating. They need carpets in here as well. Both bedrooms have got good double glazed windows. In the whole house so far has had good windows, but no bathroom as yet. What have we got? Here it is. Here we are, down the hallway. We've got the bathroom, which is great, but no bath. So, okay, so we've got a wet room rather than a bathroom. There's enough space if you want a bath to put a bath in here. You could have a bath and put your shower in the bath, or you could maybe look to squeeze a freestanding shower in the corner there and a bath. There's enough space for all of that. It's not in bad nick either, all this gear, so you might be able to keep these two pieces and then drop the rest in. But this has been put on at a later date. This wouldn't have been here originally, and I think the way they've done it, it works.
So the upstairs layout is working. Downstairs, I'm still not so sure. But what does the outside space have to offer?
This is a good-sized garden. Wasn't expecting it to be this big. It's kind of narrow, but it's long. There's a lot here. Well, there's a lot of weeds here that need to be taken up. It's completely sort of slabbed everywhere as well. It could be done a lot prettier than this. Maybe put a bit of grass down, which would be good. What I can tell you about this property is you've got this space down here as well, which is slabbed at the bottom, and you've got a few slabs dotted about with some pea gravel as well. That there, with these double gates, is because you have access from the road, down the side, other side of this wall, round the back of me, and you could create a bit of off-street parking because you've got these gates here. You might have to widen it to get your car in, but it's not a bad place to put your car at night because it is quite busy out there on the main road. So yes, garden's a good size. I'd probably tweak it myself so it looks a little bit prettier, but you have got the chance to put your car in here, safe and sound, family in here, safe and sound, Sunday afternoon, sun's out, cup of tea, thank you very much.
With a guide price of £84,000, the question on my mind is how much money do you put into a project like this to get it looking fab while still making it a good investment? We asked along a local property expert from the auction house who sold this lot to give us her thoughts on how it might be best to approach this one.
So it's a really popular street with local residents. A lot of people tend to live here and grow here and have their families here. The property is a fantastic size and has so much potential to be a lovely little family home.
Yes, I think we're all in agreement there. But with a guide price that was £84,000, how much uplift in value could you see on this house once it was given a full refurbishment?
The maximum value in this area is around £120,000. So once you've done your bathrooms and your kitchens, you're probably looking to hit that ceiling price. The rental value that I'd place on this property would be around £600 per calendar month.
This is a good house. It's solidly built. You might want to change the layout to suit your needs, but I can't find very much wrong with this property. It's a good one to get hold of. Let's find out who agreed when I went under the hammer.
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
Pounds. You bought it, well done.
But for only £9,000 over the guide price, the successful bidder was Donna, paying £93,000. Dion caught up with Donna to hear her plans for this two-bed end terrace.
Donna, nice to meet you.
Hello, Dion. Nice to meet you too.
I really like this house. Why did you want to buy it so much?
I bought it because I want somewhere for my son to live.
Oh, you bought it for your boy?
Well, kind of. He's got to pay me back.
You're kind of giving him something, going, right, I want that back.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So this is going to be in the family then?
Yeah, he's living in rented accommodation at the moment, and, you know, I just wanted to invest rather than rent, so it seemed a good idea at the time.
So how lucky is he? What's your boy's name?
His name's Tom.
Tom, how lucky are you, Tom, by the way? Got a mum that's going to buy you a house and get you to live in it. And were you looking for something in this area particularly?
Oh,
or?
yes, definitely. Couldn't move out of Crewe.
Oh, is that your little comfort?
Oh, yes, definitely.
what do you do then when you're not buying property for your boy?
I'm a theatre nurse. Got a fancy name, theatre practitioner, but
Theatre practitioner?
Tis a scrub nurse at the end of the day.
OK, so you go into theatre when the operations are on?
Yes, yes. I assist the surgeon.
So you're not squeamish then?
Not at all.
You can't be in your job, can you?
OK, so we'll be looking for some surgical precision here, and the property certainly could do with some scrubbing up. This isn't just going to be a house for her son Tom to live in, but granddaughter Isabel will be staying here too. But what surgery is Donna planning on the layout?
In here, I want to open it out, make the kitchen and lounge area and, you know, just make it into a day living room, really.
OK, so this is going?
Hopefully, depends on what the builder says, but hopefully.
Kitchen, diner, loungy area?
Loungy area, kitchen, dining table over there somewhere. Just a small one, yeah, just simple.
Gotcha. Utility room?
It's pretty much staying as it is, and maybe a little bit of workbench and maybe a bit of alteration, but not an awful lot. So
OK.
it works. It's got to be simple, it's got to be practical.
Absolutely, yeah, it's got to work.
Yeah.
Downstairs loo stays.
Yes, yes, yes.
What about out the back then? Because you've got a decent sized back garden.
Probably artificial grass,
OK.
because he's not much of a gardener.
Low maintenance again.
Yeah.
So you're looking after him on every aspect. You're looking after him.
Of course.
And we've not even gone upstairs yet. Upstairs, 2 beds and a bathroom.
Yes.
As is.
Hopefully put a bath in the bathroom, because with only a little one, it's always useful, isn't it? So
absolutely.
I'll have somebody else have a look at that and see how practical that'll be.
It's a good idea. I think there's loads of potential with this place, and you could knock it about so many ways and it would work.
Yeah, there's lots of ideas. It's how practical they are and
absolutely.
how much they cost.
Correct,
obviously.
yeah. Well, what is your budget then?
Well, it's very, very slim.
OK, yeah.
Probably 5,000, maybe up to 7, depending on how much work can be done.
So how long is it going to take you, do you think, to get this all finished?
Well, it depends on builders and the such like, but 3-4 months, something like that, hopefully.
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? I bet, is Tom going to get involved? Is Tom going to do anything?
Stay out of my way, I hope.
He'll be happy with that, won't he?
He'll pick the colours. There's a bit of role reversal here somewhere.
Lucky Tom, eh? He's got a mum who buys him a place and she's happy to say, listen, stay out of the way, I'll do it. Leave it to me and the builders. That is so cool. Listen, you've got yourself a really nice purchase, nice house. I don't think it's going to take much to get it ready for your boy. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. I hope it works out.
Thank you very much.
Lucky, lucky Tom, hey? Having a mum like Donna. She's bought this for her son and granddaughter Isabel to make it their family home. What a lucky, lucky chap. And she's going for it as well. She's knocking this down to create a massive kitchen diner. But you always go above and beyond for your family, don't you? You can find out how they get on later in the programme.
Now it's time to say hello to Yorkshire's 4th largest city, Hull, where I'm in town to suss out an auction lot. I'm on this fairly quiet residential road, which is close to the centre of Hull, to see a 3-bed mid-terrace, which came with a guide price of just £20,000. Oh dear, here it is. It's not the best of starts. You've got security shutters on the windows and you've got a security door. I wonder what's inside. Ooh, well, that's a pleasant surprise. In your tiny vestibule area, you have original tiling. How lovely is that? Then through to the hallway, which needs a complete redecoration, of course. But oh my goodness, what my eye's actually being drawn to are the corbels. You know I love a corbel. I love an original feature. These are really ornate, pretty. Oh, paint them. Through to your sitting area, which is a good size, lots of light coming in with the bay style windows. They could be lovely. What a feature. Come on, you've got to. Right for the pulling off, love it. Then through to a second reception area. It feels almost open plan because you have this big opening here. Then towards the back of the house, oh dear, you've got a bit of damp. You want to get a damp specialist to figure out where it is coming from and factor that into your budget. Then this is a bit of a feature, isn't it? It almost feels like you could be in an aquarium. There could be snakes writhing around or a couple of lizards. Yes, that's quite a jungle out the back, and an impenetrable one at that. So no exploring the garden today. Let's hope the rest of the downstairs is more accessible. Through to the kitchen, which is quite nice and wide. Yes, you need to replace these units, and above the kitchen sink, it really does feel like these plants are closing in on you. Oh, hello. They have come inside. I've never seen this before. This ivy has found a way to get in the property from behind the skirting and through the bricks. Oof, it just goes to show that if you leave your garden long enough, it really can create problems. Hopefully not too much destruction here, but you do need to find out what has happened here, how much it's going to cost to repair, if it has caused structural damage. I'm all for lovely, charming ivy outside growing up your house, but not inside. Let's hope the damage doesn't continue upstairs. Up to the bathroom, loads of room here. Plenty of room for a standalone bath, as well as a shower. You can see this is where the shower has been, but my oh my. This ivy is everywhere. Look at this. It feels like it could come through the window at any moment, and I'm not joking. The mass of this ivy, the pressure it must be putting on the wall, on this window. It really is everywhere. It's in your kitchen downstairs. It's coming through the roof in your bathroom. That is just astonishing. Onto the landing, up a few steps, but first allow me to kick this plaster work. It's just crumbling away. It looks like it might not be damp, maybe just shot plaster work. Then up to more stairs on my left, which I will come to soon. Then a bedroom, leading through to a second bedroom. So you can access these both from the hallway and through this way. I don't like it. I don't think it works. You would want to close this off for privacy, really. The back bedroom itself has that feature that all the back rooms do. It looks like your curtains have an ivy pattern on them, but it is actual ivy. Astonishing. Good sizes of bedrooms, especially at the front of the house where you have two windows, lots of light coming through. The to-do list here is pretty constant throughout. You need to replace windows, you need to get the wood chip off the walls, you need to give this place some TLC, but at least this room doesn't have any indoor plants. Up some pretty steep stairs to the third bedroom, which is an absolutely terrific size. You could even think about putting a wee ensuite up here. As I walk round, it becomes evident, well, there's a lot of space here. And while I'd love to see this restored to a gorgeous home, the university is quite close by, so there may be an appetite in the area to make this into an HMO, a house of multiple occupancy where you rent out rooms individually. That's the business head talking, but my heart would always prefer to have this as a lovely family home, restoring these gorgeous original features. Let's see what a local estate agent makes of this botanical mid-terrace that came with a guide price of £20,000.
So the local street is generally, it's fairly quiet. In terms of facilities, there's pretty much everything you need within a couple of 100-yard walk. Buses are fairly frequent, they run at the top of the street.
So it's in a great area, but what would he suggest is best to do with this 3-bed property? Are there any structural changes that would see the space improved?
So depending on who buys the property, the footprint of the accommodation is fairly substantial. I think if a family was to buy it, they would probably keep the original layout as it stands today. Or if it was rental potential, I think there's the opportunity to reconfigure it and make it a house of multiple occupancy.
In either case, what rental and sales figures would he place on this property once complete, starting with if it were a family home?
If the property is renovated to a good standard, I would imagine it would rent for around £650 per calendar month. I do feel there is a really strong possibility it could be operated as a house of multiple occupancy, in which case I would imagine that the rooms would be let £90 per week per person. And if it was Renovated to sell, I think in the end it would probably be worth in the region of £140,000.
That £20,000 guide price is extremely attractive. But then with this house, you have so much ivy outside, you can't get into the back garden. And that ivy's actually come inside the house. That said, this house has a lot going for it. Let's find out who fancied this one when it went under the hammer. This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online.
Gone.
And the successful bidder who got the lot for £55,000 was Eunice. This will be the third property he'll be adding to his portfolio, and he's not here to beat about the bush. Eunice, pleased to meet you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you've got yourself a house with lots of indoor plants.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have.
Had you seen this property?
Yes, first of all, because of the distance between where I live and here. Initially, I had a look at the online viewing. Then after that, I lined up 3 properties to have a look at, and I came here. And this one was my favourite out of the 3.
OK. Where do you live?
I live in South London. Yeah, near Croydon.
So that's a fair commute for you. What, 4+ hours?
Yeah, 4.5 to 5 hours, depending on traffic.
And so why here? Why in Hull?
For the price of property in London, you can buy 6, 7 or even 8 properties up here. Potential for rental yields is a lot better than down in London.
But was there a particular reason why Hull?
The reason being is because university. I was thinking about renovating and renting them as HMOs, mainly for university students.
What's your property background? Have you renovated properties before?
Yes, I have. Well, I fell into it by accident, really, back in early 2000s. When I bought a house, I thought I'll rent it out and see how it goes. It worked out perfectly well. So a few years later, I purchased another property that I'd done up and I rented it out as a HMO. So in the end, with a full-time job and 2 properties that I managed myself, I had my hands full. So I carried on like that for a few years until recently when I just stopped working. So I'm hoping to invest more time in doing properties and my hobbies as well.
So, having been a transport manager for 23 years, Eunice decided it was time to be his own boss. Being a property developer fit the bill perfectly. Now, with 2 rental properties under his belt, what's his plans for this latest purchase?
This one, when I first bought this property, I was thinking about HMO. With HMOs, it will be a lot of money that needs to be spent on it to update it and lots of rules and regulations. So it's going to add a lot more money to the expenditure as well as time. So I'm thinking now I'm just going to do it up as a family home. So maybe that's the way I'm going to go. But I have a lot of thinking to do over the next couple of days.
For a family home, they'd want that garden seen to. What's the plan there?
But obviously I'm going to have a look, and if that needs to be done as a if it's urgent, then yes, I'll start with that as well.
What's your budget here for the whole place?
Well, HMO, I was thinking maybe 25 to 30,000. As a family home, I'm hoping it's going to be around about 15 to 20.
So how are you going to manage it? How much are you going to do?
I'll be doing some of the work myself, but I will have a team with me to get this done as soon as possible.
How long is this going to take?
Well, I'm hoping about 2 months, 2.5 months.
I've got cheese in the fridge that's been there for 2 months. But it's not long. 2 months.
I know. I'm hoping 2.5 months.
Eunice, very best of luck here.
Thank you very much indeed. I think I'm going to need it. Thank you.
Eunice has a lot of decisions to make here. Will this end up being a house of multiple occupancy or a 3-bed family home? There's a lot to do here, not least tackling the ivy, which is threatening to take over the place. Will he do it in 2 months for just £20,000? There's only one way to find out. Make yourself a cup of tea and join us later in the show. Coming up, we return to the West Midlands to catch up on a property journey that first started in 2018.
It's been a really, really bumpy ride.
But back in Hull, it's all about the end result.
I'm quite happy with that. That's a nice surprise.
We're heading back now to a property in Crewe, Cheshire. Though the house was in relatively decent condition, Dion wasn't sure whether it was value for money.
That guide price of £84,000 plus, some people might find that a little dear.
Oh dear, Dion. That was staggeringly bad. Someone, though, who thought that it was a dear little house was Donna, who bought it at auction for £93,000. But hospital theatre practitioner Donna hadn't bought it for herself.
I did it just for you.
I bought it because I want somewhere for my son to live.
Oh, you bought it for your boy?
Well, kind of. He's got to pay me back.
You're kind of giving him something, going, right, I want that back.
Yeah.
So how lucky is he? What's your boy's name?
His name's Tom.
Is Tom going to get involved? Is Tom going to do anything?
Stay out of my way, I hope.
He'll be happy with that, won't he?
He'll pick the colours.
Lucky Tom, mate. He's got a mum who buys him a place and she's happy to say, listen, stay out of the way, I'll do it. Leave it to me and the builders.
What a great thing to do, to create a home for her son, Tom, and also for her granddaughter, Isabel, helping him with that oh-so-difficult step of getting a foot on the property ladder. But having spent £93,000 on it, Donna's budget was a moderate £7,000, and she was hoping Tom would be able to move in after 3 to 4 months of refurbishment work. 7 months later, we're back to see how Donna got on. As Donna was hoping, the wall has been opened up with a rolled steel joist installed. Giving an open-plan feel to the kitchen, which is the standout of the build, with subway tiles and stainless steel appliances. The utility area has had a lick of paint. And upstairs, the bedrooms have had a makeover with new carpets throughout. In the wet room, Donna's wish for a bath has been granted. While outside is still a work in progress. So what approach did she take to turn this into her son Tom's new home?
Well, basically, we picked what we liked. So we walked around the various shops and Thomas was with us because he's going to be living here and he chose what he wanted to live in, basically. So we've done it to the standard that we want to live in, so it's quite nice. There's some finishing touches that have got to be done, but, the kitchen and the bathroom and the flooring and everything is exactly what we wanted.
And you can see that. Tom moved in a couple of months ago, and he and his daughter Isabel have already made it a home. They do now have the house they wanted, but there were some unwanted problems along the way.
One of the things that was a problem outside was the guttering. There was a damp patch in the front bedroom and we found out that it was caused by the gutter running the wrong direction. The water was running in the house instead of out, basically. So they had to change the direction of the guttering to flow in a different way.
And on top of sorting out the guttering, they also decided, instead of fixing the leaky roof, to completely re-roof the house to future-proof it. And they've also rewired it. So this really has been a comprehensive refurbishment. But who did the work?
The majority of the heavy work's been done by a builder who's a neighbour of mine, who's been absolutely brilliant. I attempted to put the laminate flooring down myself as a DIY job, but the floors were very uneven, so my attempt failed and I had to get some assistance. So we had it all levelled out, and then with some assistance from my brother, the floors went down. The decorating I've done the majority of, I must admit, although my husband's very tall and he's done all the high bits. And I've done all the organising of things coming in and people coming to do jobs.
Well, good for you, Donna, for giving it a go, and everyone for getting stuck in. But was that enough to keep costs within that £7,000 budget?
That wasn't taking into account new roof and rewire. And after a rewire, you have to plaster throughout, so the cost spiralled. So it actually went to about 14,000, which is considerably more. But hey, it's done and dusted.
Yes, £14,000 is double what Donna had originally hoped for, but it does look like money well spent. Does the agent who saw it last time agree?
They've made some real fantastic modifications to the home that are really sympathetic to the cottage style along the road. The changes that they've made make it much more open for a family, so it is much better with regards to their family lifestyle.
So the changes work, but having purchased the house for £93,000 and with a £14,000 spend, Donna and family have £107,000 invested into this property. So if they sold it, would they see much return on their investment?
If I was bringing this property to market, I'd be looking to bring it on at either offers over 130,000 or offers in the region of 140,000, and I'd expect offers to come in within that bracket.
Oh, OK. Maybe Tom won't be living here. Yeah, that's very good.
That pre-tax profit between 23 and 33,000 isn't bad, and the agent reckoned if Donna is charging Tom rent, then she should ask him to stump up around £650 per calendar month, which equates to a yield of 7%. So all good on the numbers front, and all good with the house. What's next for Donna?
I think enjoying the weekends, spending some time with my granddaughter because my time's been consumed with the house, and a holiday for my husband and myself, I think.
We return now to Lower Gornal in the West Midlands to see a building we first saw in August 2018. And this was a puzzling property which had hidden depths.
So this is the front of the property, but there's so much more to this building. I know there's more space that way on the ground floor, but we can't get to it, there's no access. I know there's some floors above us here, but there's no access. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna search for some access.
We can find a way.
And when Dion did find his way via a rear entrance, there were some extra rooms on the ground floor, and the upper floor had even more space.
Right, you've got a room here, which is sort of sectioned off by a partition wall, and there's another very small room, two small rooms to the left, sort of bathroomy, sort of toilet just there, but that's it. This just feels like a bit of a mezzanine to me, and I know there's more to this property because in the legal pack it said it's a three-storey building. Now I've got the ground floor and this mezzanine and nothing else. I've got to keep searching, I've got to keep searching.
Why is it you keep so searching?
But despite the hunt, Dion could not find those upper floors nor any entranceway to them until... Finally, he discovered an elusive door hiding in plain sight, up there, high on the side of the building and completely out of reach. Quite bizarre. I mean, Dion's tall, but not that tall. So for now, whatever was contained within that top story behind the doorway, suitable only for birds, would remain a mystery. However, that potential bonus space was nothing compared to the fact that the property came with planning permission for 2 one-bed flats. And that turned this into a really exciting prospect, and one that attracted a fair amount of interest when it went up for auction.
Can I start with 40,000 for lot 85? 40? 40, it's worth more than that, surely. 30,000 then. For lot 85, 30,000. Thank you. I think it's a lady's bid at the back at £30,000 only. Do I hear 35 anywhere?
It took a while for interest to grow in this lot, but we rejoined with bidding at £66,000.
66. You're outbid now, sir. At 66,000 on my left, I've 67. For the first time. Take 1,000 anywhere. Second time at £66,000. Third and the very last time, it's your bid, madam. You're winning the race at £66,000. 1, 2, 3, you're out on the right. And madam, it is yours. Can I have your number, please?
The successful bidder was Teresa. She works as a local authority housing manager. She hadn't seen the property before buying it, so both she and her mum, Sylvia, had been pleasantly surprised when they came to visit what Teresa had paid £66,000 for at the auction.
So when this one started, I got into the auction fever and then the gavel come down. Well, I fell on my feet because it had actually got planning permission to be turned into 2 flats.
And those 2 flats were both 1-bed flats, with family members on board to help, a maximum £20,000 budget and a 6-month timescale. We left her to it. But when we first came back 18 months later, the mystery upper floors had finally been opened up. But progress all round seemed to have been a little bit slow.
We've taken down walls, put walls up. We've installed sewerage and also the first fix on the plumbing and the first fix on the electrics.
OK, so there was steady progress, but she had needed to get in the utilities, and that had cost her time and money. Her budget had been increased to £30,000. But when we next went back 2.5 years after we first saw the lot, well, the curb appeal had been much improved, and a new crisp render had tied all the bits of the building together, making it look like one harmonious structure. And inside? The downstairs flat was looking good. And the plans for this flat had changed.
My mother was selling her house and she was looking for properties, and I suggested, well, why don't we do the bottom flat up for you and you can buy it off me and we'll do it to your requirements. And she was very pleased with that. And she has been overseeing what we're doing quite a lot.
Try my best to do it all for you.
So this downstairs flat was tailored to Sylvia's needs, with a walk-in bath in the bathroom and an electric elevated bed in the bedroom.
I had a vision and it's almost what I wanted.
Try my best to do it all for you.
And if you'd been looking around thinking, this is great, but where's Sylvia going to store all her possessions? Well, Teresa had found a solution to that as well.
So when we took 3 layers of lino up and laminate, we found this big sheet of metal, so we took it up and there were stairs and we found a cellar. So it was a big shock finding the cellar, yeah. There was an added bonus, yeah.
And Teresa had the bonus cellar tanked to keep it nice and dry and perfect for storage. And with plans for the building at the rear to be demolished, which Teresa half owns with the neighbour, a garden space was to be created. So it was all coming together at last. But Teresa was finding it tough going.
Well, I work full-time Monday to Friday, so I predominantly had to give my weekends up to work on this project. And I also broke my leg, so I couldn't do anything for 2 months. So it's been a really, really bumpy ride, yeah.
Having broken her ankle and leg in 6 places, Teresa couldn't carry on doing the work herself. And even though she had a lot of help from friends and family, everything was delayed, especially the work on the upper flat.
I want to have a similar standard in that flat as well. It's got a living room, quite a large kitchen, a large bathroom and a large bedroom, which will be made larger because I'll be installing a dormer.
And she thought at that stage the upstairs flat was just a couple of months away from completion. But as she was getting closer to the finish line, her budget had already crept up to £30,000 after her initial projection of £20,000. And Teresa thought it was likely to go higher still.
We're at about 28,000 now, and I still haven't got to work on the top flat, so I know that my budget will go into the 30s.
And with her £66,000 purchase price, that probably meant that Teresa was looking at a total cost of around £100,000 for her 2 flats. And the agent who had followed this project from the start gave us some encouraging figures for each of the flats.
If this was to go on the open market for sale, I'd expect the property to sell for in the region of £85,000 to £90,000.
That's great, because I was selling it to my mum for £85,000.
And the other bonus about selling the downstairs flat to her mum was that it generated enough funds for Teresa to complete the top floor flat. And with a similar £85,000 valuation for that flat, it meant that Teresa could see a potential pre-tax profit of £70,000 on her property purchase. And of course, her mother Sylvia was going to get a new home.
She's really looking forward to moving in. She's actually living with me at the moment, so we do want to get her moved as soon as possible.
Yes, I've been moving along down the road.
Well, Sylvia might have been moving down the road to her new flat, but did Teresa manage to move the project forward to complete the long journey her auction purchase had taken her on? Well, you can find out later in the show. The curtains have closed and we've seen the finale of one property renovation. But there's an encore because we still have 2 to show you.
So get yourself comfy with a cuppa in hand and let's get on with the show.
Back to East Yorkshire now and the city of Hull to see a 3-bed mid-terrace that was slowly turning from a brick-built house into a greenhouse. Above the kitchen sink, it really does feel like these plants are closing in on you. They have. Come inside. I've never seen this before. It really is everywhere. It's in your kitchen downstairs. It's coming through the roof in your bathroom. That is just astonishing. Astonishing indeed, because the bathroom was on the 1st floor.
I can't get rid of you. I don't know what to do.
Well, I think the only answer was a lot of cutting, hacking and strimming to get that greenery gone. But with the inevitable signs of damp and, as indicated by the growing plants, a house that hadn't been touched in years, you were going to have your work cut out here. But at a hammer price of £55,000, property developer Eunice found, despite all its issues, and he was considering 2 approaches to make his new investment grow.
Bought this property, I was thinking about HMO. With HMOs, it will be a lot of money that needs to be spent on it to update it, and lots of rules and regulations. So it's going to be add a lot more money to the expenditure as well as time. So I'm thinking now I'm just going to do it up as a family home. So maybe that's the way I'm going to go. But I have a lot of thinking to do over the next couple of days.
Being based in London, Eunice planned to employ a local builder and he hoped he could unearth the 3-bed family home or perhaps his house of multiple occupation, HMO, for anywhere between £15,000 to £30,000, depending on what he finally decided to do with it. He hoped it would be generating a rental income in around 2.5 months' time. But now, 7 months on, we're back to see if Eunice has been able to untangle the weeds from the walls. First up, he's made the 2 reception rooms separate again. And the key question for the kitchen, had he been able to release it from all that greenery? And having been set free, both the kitchen and the bathroom are now bright and light. And the 2 bedrooms on the first floor, well, like downstairs, they too are now separate rooms again. It works so much better, in my opinion. And upstairs, the loft room is nearly finished. It's just lacking a carpet. And what about the outside area that we couldn't even get out onto? So how did Eunice set this house free?
I wasn't here to witness the actual removal of the ivy, but I had the people in, they come and had a look and they quoted me and they removed it. And thank goodness the ivy hasn't damaged the structure of the house.
It's good that it's gone, and it's really good that it hasn't significantly damaged the house. But also gone is the back reception room. It appears to now be a bedroom. So why has Eunice chosen to lay out the house like this?
Well, in the end, I decided on a family home because of the rules and regulations to start off with HMOs, and also because I would need to extend into the garden to make new bathroom and toilets if I was to go for the HMO option. So that's in the back burner at the moment, so probably the next few months we'll make a decision and we may go ahead with phase 2 of the renovation.
So the house of multiple occupation option is still on the table, but that would take a fair amount of investment, paperwork and strict guidelines to make this into a potential 4-bed HMO. Mind you, when it comes to the work, if phase 1 is anything to go by, Eunice will be hands off and he'll leave it up to the local tradespeople.
I had Richard who was overseeing the renovation from start to finish, and he got involved as well with a lot of decorating and painting work. He's done an amazing job as far as I'm concerned, so I'm quite happy with that.
Eunice did keep in regular contact with Richard the builder and came to check on progress a couple of times. He also brought in a gas engineer he'd worked with before to do the central heating system. It seems he has got the product he was after, but at what cost?
Yeah, with the budget, I was thinking something between 25,000 and 30,000. In the end, it's just under 30,000, but transformation was well worth it.
£30,000 on top of a £55,000 purchase price takes Eunice's all-in cost to £85,000. So has he uncovered a little gem here? What does the agent who saw it last time think?
The transformation is great. It's unrecognisable from seeing it last time. It's modern, it's stylish. The configuration of the rooms works really well. It's nice to see the upstairs bathroom has been retained because that's always a really good selling point. So yeah, overall, it's excellent.
Well, that's encouraging. But does excellence equate to healthy returns on a house Eunice has invested £85,000 into?
I'd be confident to suggest an asking price in the region of £140,000.
But 140, that's a very good value, yes. I'm quite happy with that. That's a nice surprise.
Sure is. That's a potential pre-tax profit of £55,000. But for now, it's the rental potential that's most important to Eunice.
I think if the property was to be let to one family, I would envisage that it would achieve somewhere in the region of £650 per calendar month.
I was thinking a little bit more because I had people interested that were offering £800 a month. Yeah, I think I was expecting a little bit more than that.
Interesting. There's a bit of discrepancy between the two, but somewhere in between, around £700 per calendar month, we'd see a yield of nearly 10%. And if he does go to phase 2 and convert this into a house of multiple occupation, then potentially that yield could grow to 15 to 20%, depending on his additional outlay. And talking of growth, would Eunice take on such an overgrown house again?
I probably would, yes. I've done it before, so I've done it now, so yes, I think I would if it was going to be that good an investment, then yes, I would.
We return once more to Lower Gornal in the West Midlands and a two-stage project that started back in August 2018. And even though downstairs was a former shop, with a few rooms off it,
there's so much more to this building. I know there's more space that way on the ground floor, but we can't get to it, there's no access. I know there's some floors above us here, but there's no access.
yes, this was a muddle, and anyone stepping into it was really stepping into the unknown. But with planning permission already in place to convert it into 2 flats, local authority housing manager Teresa thought it was worth taking on and paid £66,000 to buy it at auction. And when we last caught up with progress 2.5 years into the project, the downstairs 1-bed flat was complete. And was ready for Teresa's mother, Sylvia, to move into. But the upper flat had really only just got started.
I want to have a similar standard in that flat as well. It's got a living room, quite a large kitchen, a large bathroom and a large bedroom, which will be made larger because I'll be installing a dormer.
And at that stage, her budget was running at £28,000 and she expected it to rise to the 30s. And now, a further year on, we're back. Well, it might be an upstairs flat, but it's split over 2 levels. With a fabulous kitchen and the lounge on this floor. And then up a flight of stairs, thanks to the large dormer that has been built, there's a good-sized bedroom. And across the landing, a well-equipped shower room. So, barring a bit of tidying up and snagging, finally, this project is nearly there.
It's been a big, challenging job. It's actually taken 3.5 years. I did initially want it to be done within 6 months, but we had initial problems with installation of utilities. We had road closures. I think I've probably had everything thrown at me, really, that we've had to overcome. And then I've had to refinance several times. And then you're in a queue waiting for trades and working full time. So when you put everything in the pot, it does take up your time.
I've been waiting for so long.
Yes, with a full-time job at the local authority, it's not easy taking on a flat conversion that was anything but straightforward. And though she hoped to get more involved and bring in family members who were in the trade, in the end, she decided to employ a local builder.
I'll get a chap in called Bob to help me with this flat. He's actually got a team of trades in to get it finished for me. So yes, to get the job done, Bob the builder did it for me.
Well, Bob the builder has done more than fix it. He's built it and he's finished it to a lovely standard. And though by adding a dormer, this part of the building has been built out, other buildings on the site had a different fate.
The building that Dion got lost in has actually been demolished, and that will be turned into a small garden for my mother.
By removing that funny outbuilding, she'll create space for a garden and also create a buffer zone between the 7 new builds that are being built on the site next door. But how has it worked out with her mother, Sylvia, moving into her own purpose-built flat?
I'm very happy that Mum has got her own independence back and that she's not having to rely on other members of the family to keep her. She was homeless for a while, so she's got her own place, she's got her own independence, and I think she's happy with what she's got, yes.
And I'm sure she's probably happy that all the building work above her flat is now finished. But what is the final bill for this 3.5-year project that Teresa originally budgeted £20,000 for?
My original budget went out of the window years ago. I think the total budget's going to be £71,000.
Wow, with a £71,000 spend, Teresa has spent more on the work than the £66,000 she spent to purchase the lot. This means that her total costs come to £137,000. So what does the agent who has followed this conversion over the last few years make of the final piece of the jigsaw, this 1-bed upper floor flat?
Having come back again to the property, I'm really impressed with the conversion. What works really well with the property, being on the split level, is that on the first floor we've got the lounge and the kitchen, and then you go upstairs for the bedroom and the shower room, and it certainly adds appeal to the property and the flow of it, and it works. The dormer they've done upstairs for the bedroom has created great space and great light, and it's certainly something that when you walk inside, you think, yeah, I could live in here.
Teresa's keen to sell this flat on, so what is its current resale value on the local market?
This property is the 1-bedroom. I think on the sales market, you'd be looking in the region of £105,000 to £110,000.
That's a good price, I'm pleased with that, yeah.
Teresa had previously sold the downstairs flat to her mum for £85,000, so should she get around £105,000 for the upper flat, she may in fact end up with a pre-tax profit of £53,000. She must be relieved that it's nearly done and she can move on.
Yeah, I'm extremely relieved that this project is finished. It's had a lot of... it's been a bumpy road. It's has a lot of highs and lows, but I am very pleased that it is completing now.
Yes, a bumpy road indeed, but it seems Teresa isn't put off by the odd bump in the road.
At the moment, I'm actually doing up a camper van. I'm converting a van into a camper van, so... and I'm doing it all myself, so I'm painting it at the moment. But I'll be putting a bed and units and what have you in it. And I'll be working on it this afternoon. Actually, I've got a new battery to put in it.
So once Teresa has recharged her batteries, well, she'll be off again.
I guess I've been moving along down the road.
Well, we can't wait to share more auction stories with you.
And there's plenty more to come, so make sure you join us next time here on Homes Under the Hammer.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.